Hello kids, today we're discussing Far Cry New Vegas 2 Malaria Edition. But before we discuss it, I need to mention that it's not that easy to run the game on sort of modern hardware and Windows 11, because it's a 2008 game. So here's everything I did to run this like you see it in the video. The version I'm running is 1.00 because I wasn't smart enough to check if the game has DLCs while I was downloading it, so yeah, I have an older version. Who gives a shit? The first thing you will encounter loading into the game is that probably, unless you're running on ancient ass hardware, your mouse movement is like blocky, chunky. I have no idea how to describe it. You'll see it in the video. Basically, the reason of that is your GPU renders too many frames. So you fix it by opening the console with the tilde key and typing in this command. Oh, fucking hell. So this happens if you launch the game with Cyrillic or Russian selected as your input language. I have no idea if it happens with other languages. I fixed it by reopening the game with English selected as an input language, so yeah, I guess you know how to fix that now. So you put in this command, it fixes FPS to 59. A lot of people also advised to fix it to 45, but I decided to fix it to 59 because it fixes the issue of a mouse for me and all of the other issues generated by too many frames. The second thing I did is I found this guide. God bless the man who made it. It's a really good guide, you should follow it. The only thing I followed from it is the NVIDIA control panel part. I did everything exactly the same like the man did. The only thing I changed is MFAA, and I will explain later why. I also downloaded a widescreen fix that the guy from the guide advertised, the GitHub one. It didn't work for me. I have suspicions why. My game is, as I said, the older version. The widescreen is for a newer version. Also, maybe I'm just a dumbass. It didn't work for me, but you should try it. It's a good widescreen fix, and it doesn't only work for Far Cry 2, but also a shit ton of other games. And the last thing that I encountered was annoying as fuck texture popping. And I wasted 40 minutes to fix that motherfucker. I first followed this guide and pasted in this block of text into the game config file, and this fixes the texture popping for most of the people, but it didn't fix it for me. Then I tried forcing DirectX 9, didn't work also because, well, the game for some reason prefers to force DirectX 10, and what I ended up doing is turning off MFAA, and that fixed the issue. So that's why I have MFAA turned off. I do not recommend using everything as I said in terms of fixes, because, well, first of all, I have a second generation Ryzen, so I probably encountered some bullshit you will not encounter, and also I think it's issues on a case-to-case basis because of the age of the game. So you should probably follow the guides that I will provide in the description, and then if you have similar issues that I had, you should come back to this video and, well, follow my advice. But that all of that done, let's get to the review. Hello again, kids. Quick fix. The phone wasn't working in the game, so I ended up figuring out why it forces DirectX 10. I turned on DirectX 9, which fixed the phone issue, and it also fixed texture popping, so scratch all of the shit that I said before about texture popping. It's just a DirectX 10 issue, as well as a lot of other things like the phone not working. So yeah, play it in DirectX 9. Hello boys and girls, you joined me roughly 15 hours of gameplay later, although it felt like more on that later. Far Cry 2 is a more story-oriented game than Blood Dragon, so we're gonna do a little story recap here. It's a 14-year-old game, but spoiler warning nonetheless. If you want to experience the story firsthand, go and play the game, obviously. The story recap ends at this time code, so you're welcome to join me there. There will be slight spoilers after the time cut though, so keep that in mind. With all of that out of the way, let's talk plot. The game is set somewhere in Nicaragua. Wait, Nicaragua isn't even in Africa, is it? Well, it's set somewhere in Africa, it doesn't mention where. You play as any of these motherfuckers. There is no canon main character, so I naturally chose to play as the weakest Hungarian male. You are a mercenary on a mission to kill an arms dealer named Jacko. He was obviously selling guns to both of the sides, as any man on the grind should. As soon as your Armenian taxi gets you to the city, you black out with piss on your screen. And later, you're awoken by none other than Jacko himself. He tells you that you were bitten by one of those annoying yellow disease mosquitoes. He brandishes a kitchen knife at your face and a lethal firearm and then leaves. Next time you wake up, you're in the middle of a street gunfight. Nice. I died during this gunfight. Fortunately, it is supposed to happen. But if you're a good gamer, you'll just pass out because no malaria pills. So that is already 2 blackouts in 5 minutes of gameplay. Anyway, you're rescued by one of the 2 factions, the UFLL or the APR, so Mercs and Communists respectively. From this point on, it's just New Vegas if New Vegas had only shitty side quests. You need to complete all the quests from both APR and UFLL, and they are repetitive as fuck. They're sometimes interrupted by a medicine side quest, but those are also all the same, but the only difference being the location you take the travel documents to. Oh yeah, you also have these missions to free other mercenaries and they later become your partners and make you counter offers every time you take a mission from APR or UFLL. I did complete all of them because I'm an absolute jungle menace. At some point, you're gonna be sent to kill Gakumba, the UFLL leader in Act 1. After you do that, you're gonna be betrayed by APR, so you kill their leader too, obviously. Guess what? Now there is an uprising, and you're given 2 choices. Save random civilians who are held up in a church in Pala, or save your mates, other mercenaries. I obviously saved my boys, which I did pay for that choice dearly. So if you made a choice to save your boys at Mike's bar, you're gonna black out again in the middle of a shootout this time. Shit. Stalker Call of Zimbabwe. You wake up in a truck full of dead bodies, and you pass out again. And guess who's here again? This dodgy motherfucker. After he pulls out your rectum, your only mission in this country is to sidestep all the leaders and somehow survive. At some point, your buddy will give you an offer to vanish with a suitcase full of diamonds. Oh yeah, did I mention, this scroungy looking ass is being paid in uncut diamonds. Like 30 of them a mission. By my lowest estimates, he's getting like $2,700 per mission. Makes you think, doesn't it? So anyway, you are knocked out again by Jacko himself. So after you break out of the prison you end up after you are knocked out in, you get a call from a journalist who's been documenting this whole thing. He's in deep shit and needs your help, but also notifies you that APR and UFLL now join forces in an attempt to bring down the riot that's been going on at the same prison you've been at. You go to the slammer and you're finally not knocked out by Jacko. He tells you that he doesn't want to fuel the war anymore and recruits you to get the diamonds, to bribe the border officials and kill the remaining leaders. So remember the piece of foreshadowing with saving my mates in Act 1 I just told you about? Well, they have the diamonds and they'll shoot you almost on sight. After you deal with them, you kill the leaders, choose who blows up the path. I chose Jacko because he fueled this whole thing himself. And if you use Jacko to blow shit up, you go to the border with diamonds and leave the country. The game ends.
While armed, will be considered a hostile combatant and will be treated accordingly.
Let him pass.
Will be your only
By right, I could have you shot just for carrying those guns in here. I don't suppose you're going to tell me who's behind all of this? No, didn't think so. Tell me, what can you do for me? I think we can reach an accommodation. But for the sake of those souls outside, I hope there's more to your plan than this.
Attention,
What I do?
I'm gonna bypass the coupling and rig a hot wire.
So what do I think about the game itself? Well, first of all, let's point this out. I'm heavily nostalgic about Far Cry 2, because it was one of the first AAA games I've ever played. So you should take everything I say with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, it does show its age. In a lot of places, and where it doesn't, it's frustrating and incredibly frustrating at that. Let's first of all address the looks though. I personally like the aesthetic of the most dusty corner of Tajikistan that the game has. But holy shit, the game does look good when there is no sandstorm. And that's on DirectX 9. On 10 it supposedly looks even better, but like it breaks half of the game, so we'll never know how it looks on DirectX 10. Most of the time the game will look like a fucking sandstorm though. And in my opinion, it does add to the atmosphere of loneliness that the structure of the story provides. And you will have that loneliness. All up to you. Until you bump into one of these. Goddamn checkpoints in this game are annoying as fuck. Because you don't clear them and like capture them as all the other Far Cries. You scout them out. And everyone respawns the moment you turn your back. And they're annoying to the point that you are better off using any method of transportation or just using a fast travel system altogether. And when you are forced to drive somewhere, you can just follow my example. As a true Eastern European, I drive my cars like I fuck my women, fast and loose. By the way, the best car in the game is buggy. It's slow as fuck, but I love buggies. If any of you motherfuckers know the country in EU that has laxed enough car laws that allows me to register a piece of shit like this and drive it to the grocery store on public roads, please comment down below. I need that shit. And it also has like this like spin tires car. By the way, mission with this fucker is one of the best missions in the game. It's genuinely a breath of fresh air after like a 30th mission of killing someone. But enough with the cars, what about the guns? I actually liked the gunplay in this game, and I liked it more than in Blood Dragon. I don't know why, but I just do, for some reason. And that is considering the fact that I played the whole game as a Serbian nationalist pillaging my weapons from fallen enemies. That meant that I never completed any side quests for the gun shop. So basically I played the whole game with misfiring, shitty, jamming weapons. I also love the fact that the RPG can misfire. I know it can misfire in IRL, but I didn't expect it to misfire in the fucking game. It's so fucking funny when it does, because you're just running from the rocket that dropped to your feet. But the game in general is at times incredibly frustrating, because it's like it's not a hard game and it doesn't have like difficulty spikes. It's just random. Because there is random patrols, and then there is checkpoints that on the first map they are incredibly uniform, which is annoying. A second map is better, but it's still quite annoying. And you have quite limited resources, so it's not a hard game by any chance of imagination. And I played it on normal. It's just it's annoying the way an old game is. It's sometimes really unbalanced to the point that it does impede your experience in the game. And at some point, I just started save scamming, basically. I quick saved every 30 seconds because it was unbearable. It's also your cars break like instantly. They break instantly, and to fix a car, you need to stop, open the fucking hood, and fix the car. And it's frustrating at times. Just save scam, basically, what I'm trying to say. But if we throw away that issue, it's an incredibly unique game with certainly its own like feeling. It's a lonely game, and it's a game with not particularly entertaining story, but it's a very interesting look at what gaming used to be back in 2009. And should you play this game? Yes, you should. If you're not scared of tinkering with it and not scared of the game being weird as any old game is, you should. It's actually really interesting to look where Far Cry series started and what it fucking became. But that'll come at some point. I'll make all the other videos. I do think it's a good game, especially for counting its age. For me, it's a straight 8 out of 10, but I'm heavily nostalgic about it. You should play it though. People say it's less broken on GOG. Is it even on GOG? I think it is. Doesn't matter, play it, it's a good game. The next video will be about Far Cry 3 or about some Halloween shit. I have a month until Halloween, 1 day less than a month already, and I have no idea which one will come out first. I hope Far Cry 3, but then Far Cry 3 does take some time to come out, so we'll see. Wait for the next video. Thank you for watching this one. Goodbye.